So I wanted to come on and talk to you guys. So we've got the indie event coming up, right? And a lot of you have been private messaging me, like, should I attend? Should I not attend? And so I kind of wanted to give you guys my inside opinion about the indie event, or just events in general, how you actually like use them and who should attend, and what to expect. So first of all, we've got the indie event coming up, and say, hey guys, hey Leah, hey Stephanie, thanks for joining. First of all, we've got the indie event coming up. It's in New York. I'll get to see some of you guys next week. The indie event is such a fabulous event for small business owners, particularly indie. And I wanted to just talk to you guys about the show and like what to expect, and then what we're doing at the show. And I'll talk to you about expos in general and how you put them kind of in your life as a starting entrepreneur, right? So this will be maybe my fourth expo. This one I am not bringing brands, but last year we had a capsule and we brought 4 different brands, and we had a lot of fun. A lot of people attend the Indie Expo, and they attend every 4th show now in the States, and then they go on to every year, right? Until something pops off. I think the Indie Expo is fabulous for skincare, hair care, and makeup. Color cosmetics, feminine products, those sorts of things. I'm not really a big fan for natural hair, although I've seen natural hair care brands there. I don't know that they actually do as well as like skincare or makeup or body care products, something like that. I think the Indie Beauty Expo for startup brands, you have to kind of think of it as a long game strategy. It's not one of those things that you just go once and actually like get a hit. And maybe what you go for, like maybe your intention is to go for buyers or press, is not what comes out of it. Sometimes at the indie show, what comes out of it is better. Sometimes it's just relationships. And in this industry, relationships matter like so much. The buyers that you meet, the press that you meet, the investors that you meet, the other entrepreneurs that you meet that you can collaborate with, like all of those things really matter. And I think that's the benefit of attending the Indie Beauty Expo, or any expo at that matter. Relationships in the beauty space, take you very a long ways, right? A lot of what makes me successful is that I have a lot of strong relationships in the industry. So for that reason, I think the Indie show is great. Now, exhibiting, to me, if you only have $5,000 like in your marketing and sales budget, exhibiting is not always the best strategy. It's kind of icing on the cake. I don't necessarily recommend it if it's just a show that, that's all you've got and you don't have anything else to do. I would always start with ads first, right? So shows are great. The industry shows are great, but they should be icing on the cake, and not like I'm put all my money into this event and it has to have a return. That puts a lot of pressure on the event, kind of sours your mood a little bit, and you might not necessarily get the results that you want, okay? So hey guys, hey Chanel, hey Beth, hi Angela. So let's talk about what's going to happen in New York in next week. So we're going to all meet, if you're attending, Wednesday. We're going to have lunch. Judith has been great helping me actually find a location, and we'll post more details about that. It's a meetup. We're just going to hang out, get to know each other. The Shop Indie event is that evening from 5 to 9. I am not attending the Beauty X Summit. If you are a brand owner and you think that you need to learn about financing and you want to make that investment, I think it's a good opportunity. A lot of those people, even if you're not ready now, you may be ready in a year or two. It's a really, really good opportunity. A lot of those people are movers and shakers in the beauty space, right? And I'm saying beauty in this particular category for like skincare, makeup, and let's say body care and nails products. I definitely still would not say color, natural hair products for African Americans. I just don't think that that's going to be our market right then, although they are trying to be more inclusive, and I love them for that, and they are trying to make space, right? I still don't think that they quite have a grasp on our industry yet, and that's okay. They're very helpful for women of color cosmetics, right? Axology did really well. There was another brand, Josephine. She did really well with the show. Of course, she was a color foundation, and she got it in Neiman Marcus and those sorts of things. But natural hair products, I definitely would not say, spend the money on the show or the summit just yet. That's just my opinion on it. But color cosmetics, skincare, body care, hemp oil products, and anything outside of the norm, it's fabulous, fabulous show for that. Now, New York show is massive. So I equate New York to like going to college, and Dallas and LA is more like elementary school, right? So, but the New York show is huge. It's usually like 200, well, this one, it's going to be 240 brands. You're going to be walking the floor. It's just going to be a lot of people. So if you're trying to dress cute, wear some cute shoes that'll work for you. Don't like be comfortable. But it's really a high energy. The event is really well done. They do a fabulous job. They have these great photo walls. They have amazing people like crafting and doing shaped ice and like lots of really neat things that happen. But there's so much to see that people get kind of overwhelmed. And if you're exhibiting at that show, you know, you do have more opportunity to meet with a lot of like the movers and shakers in the New York area, because beauty kind of lives in New York City. But, you know, as far as getting deals, as far as getting seen, sometimes you can get swallowed up if you're a smaller, just starting out brand. I did have one lady, she had like a random selection, almost like Jennifer, kind of like your brand, Jennifer Tinsdale, if you're watching the replay, she had like a foot cream, a deodorant, and those sorts of things. She got picked up by J. Crew. So I do have those exceptions to the rules, but for the most part, most people kind of get lost in the New York show. If you're exhibiting, of course, reach out to Jillian or whoever your rep is, tell them who you want to meet, and make sure that when you're at the show, you go and speak to them and say, by the way, I really want to meet you. Now, if you're going to attend another show, I love Dallas. Dallas is small. It was, you know, 15 minutes and you're through the whole show. There was buyers on the floor at shop night. There was buyers making deals on the floor. I saw them talking to this one lady who had a really cool aura cleansing spray, right? She had a really cool aura cleansing spray, and HSN was, you know, trying to negotiate with her on the floor. So I love that about Dallas, is because it's so small and intimate. And this is the other thing that most people don't realize, is that most of the buyers are actually in central the US, right? So they're either in Minnesota or they're in Dallas, but a lot of headquarters are there. So there's a lot of buyers that'll fly into Dallas and fly out that same day. So I actually really like Dallas. I think it's kind of their well-kept secret so far. So that's kind of my thing on the indie show. LA is fun. LA has that LA vibe, right? It feels like a mixture of Coachella and beauty all mixed together. A lot of press there, those kind of things that happen in LA. So those are kind of like the overview of the shows here in the Indie Beauty Show. I feel like the indie community is fabulous. They're very well connected. They're doing amazing things. To be clear, when they say indie, it doesn't mean that you are handcrafted or made at home. It means that you're 51% owned privately and not held by a corporation. So at the Dallas show, actually Phyto Essence, I don't know if you guys saw that brand, they're actually owned by L'Oreal, or like a percentage of them is owned by L'Oreal, but the other percentage of it is owned by a small enough person that they can go under the indie brand category. So, you know, there are like L'Oreal and Estee Lauder, they're there. So let's talk about L'Oreal, Estee Lauder, and what they're there for, right? L'Oreal, Estee Lauder will be walking around, and what they're there for is one of two things. One, to either get inspiration for their own brands, or two, to look for brands to purchase. To be very clear, indie brands are one of the fastest growing markets, and also I think investors are looking to invest 4 or 5 times more into startup indie brands than like established L'Oreal and those kind of things. So a lot of small brands, you guys have an opportunity to sell your business at some point if that's something that you want, and also get investors if you do a really good job on your marketing and those sorts of things. So I just really want you guys to be clear on what to expect at the show. I will be there. Again, we're going to have lunch at noon. We're going to walk the show from 5 to 9, trying to get Jillian to give us a tour. If Jillian doesn't give us a tour, I'll give you guys a tour. I've been to enough shows. I can tell you about the layouts, the booths, the investments, those kind of things. But it's fun. We will get a chance to at least meet with Jillian and her team and say, hey, I know that Bethany is exhibiting. If someone else is exhibiting, let me know. We'll all come over to your booth as well. I think Moss Skincare is exhibiting, but I don't know if she's in this group anymore. So anyways, that's kind of the lowdown on the Indie Beauty Expo. Now, I messaged Alexis privately because I want Alexis to go to the show, but for Alexis's market and for a lot of your market, it wasn't really worth the investment to come. This is where I want to talk to you guys about where do you spend your money, right? So while these shows are fun, depending on the category, so Alexis is in a natural hair care market. We have a lot of you guys in natural hair care market. I would advise you to spend your money first on ads, right? And then second on local shows with direct to consumers. The way that natural hair is purchased, like into Target and Sally's and those sorts of things, those actually run through distributors that you guys can pitch when you're ready for it. You don't necessarily need to attend a show to actually pitch. So it's a little different from the natural hair care market. So I do think it's fun to go. You get to see the industry, you get to feel the vibe. It's fun. We all work virtually, so it's great to connect with people. But from an investment point of view, if you're going to spend the money to travel, if you're going to spend the money to come, I really recommend one, ads, and then second, attending shows that are related to your industry. So Afropunk will be in New York this same weekend that will be there. I'm probably saying this wrong. Ubiquitous is going to be in DC, right? It's a big hair show. Atlanta hair show. Like, you really want to go to the shows that make sense for your brands. Now, at those shows, buyers are walking as well. So there's a lot of opportunity, especially at the big shows, to actually make those same connections. Again, this is for the natural hair market, because I know a lot of you guys have that. Now, flipping sides, let's talk about the makeup industry, right? So the makeup show is a really, really good show for like makeup artists. So Lauren Napier, I don't know if you guys watched that summit that I did with her. She's a makeup artist, celebrity makeup artist. She started a paquette called Cleanse, right? And her whole thing is like, your skin's more important than your makeup. That's me summarizing poorly. And so she started these little paquettes that you can take off. And she went to the makeup show and she got picked up by Anthropologie. Now she's in Anthropologie and J. Crew, those sorts of things. So the makeup show is actually a really good space for people that are in the cosmetic industry, or your focus is on the makeup industry, makeup artists, right? I know Jill with Fixie is going to be exhibiting at the makeup show. Again, there's buyers. Again, there's things that, make sense for her brand. So you guys have to just kind of pick and choose and decide on what your brand goals are. But it is a lot of fun. I'm excited to see a lot of you guys next week. And so I just wanted to kind of run that through. And then my other thoughts on Cosmoprof. Let's talk about Cosmoprof. So we just got back from Cosmoprof with Crystal, and Boy Face Me, Brandon. We debuted Girl Face, and that was a lot of fun. We had a lot of one-on-one buyer meetings, and that is unusual. I will say that a lot of brands don't get that kind of opportunity. We had a lot of one-on-one buyer meetings. We got a chance to really pitch to buyers. We got a chance to kind of visually watch their reaction to it and change our pitch as we go. Some of them want the whole set. Some of them want men's skincare. Some of them want women's skincare. So everybody was a little different. Cosmoprof, I feel like, is kind of the next level of business in the beauty space, in my opinion. Now, they have different sections in Cosmoprof. Some of you guys may have been there, but they have different sections. They have Discover Beauty, right, which is for the startup brands. Crystal was there. Tammy from Aqua Reveal was there. I don't know if you guys saw that summit, but I've interviewed Tammy multiple times. She's a client of mine as well. Tammy was on QVC with her products. That's not where she started. She was also in Space and K and Neiman Marcus and those sorts of things. She was there. I feel like Cosmoprof is kind of the big girl game, right? So QVC buyers were hanging out around our space. Like, there's just a lot more one-on-one that happens at Cosmoprof in the beauty space. Now, there's also a Discover, I think it was called like Green Beauty or something, let's just say that. And it was just all for organic brands. And then they had Tones of Beauty, which was for African-American or women of color or men of color, because Jason with Roots, I think is his name, the beard products, they were there as well. So, and Shadavi was there. So a lot of brands were there. It's a different level of a show. It's huge. It takes days. It's exhausting. A lot of influencers were there. A lot of business meetings happen. A lot of deals happen at Cosmoprof. So let's break down kind of which show should you attend. It depends on which size of a business you have. I think if you made a deal at Cosmoprof and you can't support it in your manufacturing, you might have some like struggles there. So I recommend, Cosmoprof is kind of like that next step, but it's definitely a really, really good place because everybody who's anybody is in the industry at Cosmoprof. Now, you won't get that same experience at Indie. At Indie, it's just very much so the small ecosystem of small like indie brands. So I hope that helps. Hey, Eli. Hey, Alexis, what's going on? All right, so Alexis has a question. If you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. So Alexis says, is Cosmoprof a good space for natural hair brands to attend for buyer opportunities? Yes, I would say yes. So what else is interesting about Cosmoprof is the influencers are there too. So I stayed outside. I'll post the picture waiting outside the bathroom. Dino and Heather can tell you about this. I was waiting outside the bathroom because there was this girl from BuzzFeed that my daughter has like a major crush on. But there was a lot of influencers at Cosmoprof. They're either speaking on the summit or looking for new brands and connecting. So I really like Cosmoprof for that. I think it's a good next step. Now, if you're trying to go to buyers like Alexis, someone like you, Eli in the natural hair space, call First Choice, like go straight to a distributor and try to make those deals happen then. Your manufacturing has to be in place. I know a lot of you guys are still making your products at home or transitioning out, but you need to be able to scale if you're going to support that. That was a question that they asked. Another thing the buyers really wanted to know is, what are our current sales? What they mean by that is they want to know what are your current sales and what are your distribution points, because what they're looking for is they're not really necessarily looking for a rookie unless you're well funded and you can kind of navigate that whole process of getting to retail ready. It's definitely not something that you just pop up and be like, I want to be on the shelves of Target. I mean, as you guys are all learning at your own place, you've got to learn to manage your inventory. You've got to learn to manage your cash flow. You've got to learn to manage your social media and your growth and those sorts of things. So while there are exceptions to the rule, they will take like totally unique brands. They want to make sure that you're well funded. You've got a really strong social media, right? I mean, really strong social media, and that you just understand kind of how business works. I know sometimes we really get caught up in the beauty of business and we get excited about the new products and we get excited about this kind of stuff. And you guys have been hanging out with me at all very long. Sometimes I'll say, I really don't care about the products, because really it's more about the story that you can tell. It's about the connection that you can make, and it's about the business deals that they can make, right? So that's what the buyers are interested in. So beauty is fun. Hair is great. I love it. It's a lot of fun, whatever. But if the numbers don't make sense, if the deals don't make sense, if you're not managing your inventory right, if you can't keep up with the current demand that you have, you're just not ready for that step, right? And it doesn't mean you won't be ready. It just means you're not ready now. So I love Cosmoprof. I think it's a really good show. I probably will be exhibiting there myself with my company next year, and then also encouraging you guys to go. Still love indie. I will be at almost all of the indie shows this year, hoping that one of my clients will get done soon enough and we can go to London together. That'd be fun. Got a couple international clients we're trying to wrap up. But I definitely love it. I think it's got a lot of great opportunities there. And okay, and Doris says, where's Cosmoprof going to be? So on the 22nd, it's going to be August 22nd, a Wednesday. It's in the middle of the week, which is kind of odd, but it's going to be in New York. And what they do, I'm sorry, not Cosmoprof. Cosmoprof is going to be in Vegas. It's every year in Vegas. They have some international shows, but Vegas is enough. It's in the middle of like the hottest month ever. I was like, why? Why can't we do this in like February? Anyways, it was so hot in Vegas that day, and I'm coming from South Texas. It was so hot that I was going to die, but it's in next July. So I would definitely consider, doing Cosmoprof. I think there's a lot of value there. One of she used to be a sales rep, and she purchased a company, and she was there, and we were chatting about it, and she was like, Cosmoprof is, really where the deals are made to a certain level, at a certain level. But Indie's a great place. You can meet people, you can get press, you can build relationships, you can meet each other. Like, I love Indie. I just want you guys to understand the different shows, how I think that you guys should use them, and what is next, for your business. Like, it's fun and exciting to go travel and do all this kind of stuff, but you got to get that foundation underneath you, right? You've really got to get that foundation underneath you. That's just like, I can't say it enough. Just list building your social media, emailing your marketing list, just getting those sales in where you are, managing your inventory, working with your manufacturers. Like, there's a lot to do as you guys are learning. So get that down and then go forward. And when you're ready to go forward, let me know. I love going to the shows. I'll be at the shows. I can help you through those as well. Do you guys have any questions for me at all? I'm just curious. Love to answer them. No? I'll wait a second. So for those of you attending Cosmoprof New York, we'll be posting a lot of information about it. Can't wait to see you guys in person. We are going to be having lunch, and then, like I said, just walking the show together. It is fun. It's a lot of fun. We're going to laugh and have a lot of fun together. All right, I don't see any questions. If you guys have questions, you're listening to the replay, just tag me in it so I can see it as well. If not, I will see you guys next Wednesday in New York. And if you're going to be considering attending a show, let me know. I definitely think going to the DC show, if you're in a hair show, is good. Going to the Atlanta show is good. Like, there's definitely some shows that you guys should consider attending. Once you get your basics down, you've got your sales coming in, those sorts of things, right? So good. All right, guys. So enjoy the rest of your night, and we will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.